I know it's been a couple of years since the E has done some, I guess now it's fall cleaning. And as much as you don't want to see these things happen, and of course having this happen the same day, they're like, oh, SmackDown is making its way back to USA, and we're making, a couple $1 billion off of this. So go through some of this. Some of these I was like, I don't really recall seeing this person. So I know over from the bottom up. Um, I will go with Abuli Abadi Fitzgerald, NXT guy. Brooklyn Barlow, NXT guy. Or it could have been a girl. I don't know. Alexis Gray, Daniel MacArthur, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Bryson Montana. I don't recall seeing. I don't watch. So I have Peacock, and Peacock's Level Up is like 2 weeks behind, which is horrible when you're trying to keep up with something like the Heritage Cup Global Invitation Tournament, because you're not actually seeing the matches while they're going on, so you're just getting like, here's your spoilers for everything. Quincy Elliott. So he had a character called the Super Diva. He was a much more larger than life character, and Super Diva was interesting. Definitely something you can kind of see more of, almost kind of like an Americanized version, like an Exotico. And I was like, I want to see where they're going with this. Decent amount of athleticism to him. Had an injury, was coming back from it. I think he's been clear since like January of this year, and doing the relaunches and all that wasn't a good spot for him, and then he got let go. Yeah, I think it's Ulisa Leon. So she was recently on a PLE where they did Nathan Frazier and Dragon Lee, and they had a tag team of women with them take on Metaphor. She was part of that tag team. I know she came back from, it was a knee injury. Decent in the ring, but when you're part of a women's tag, and we know how women's tags are treated here in the E, sad to see her go because she was pretty good. Ike Manjaro. He hadn't done an awful lot since they broke up Jacket Time. So Ike Manjaro was the king of Style Strong. So very much of I'll say a goofy wrestler from an American context. Big, bright, colorful jackets, fought while wearing a jacket. He did some great work with Kushida as Jacket Time. He'd previously kind of been almost like a more high-profile jobber on NXT. Shanky was your very, very tall, I think the last time we really saw him was he was in a tag team with Jinder Mahal, and they took on the New Day, and Shanky randomly danced. So you had a tall, dancing Indian who hadn't done a whole lot. Dabakato just re-debuted on NXT. Before that, he was Commander Aziz, which I thought was weird, that you had someone who was Nigerian who wanted a heavy, and you had Omos, who is Nigerian and would work fantastic as a heavy, but instead you go with Dabakato. Dabakato, if you didn't watch NXT, he would have been the guy who was smashing balls on Raw Underground. He just finished doing a real small feud with Tyler Bate. And he also had a really, really short feud with Apollo Crews. Dana Brooke. So Dana Brooke made her way back to NXT. Came back first as like plucky face, bright pink colors, and then turned heel and was working a program with someone else. It's like, not Kiana James, but another someone who had a gymnastic background, was turning heel and was, losing matches, but turning more and more heel. You're wearing black and leather. Would have been nice to see them just finish that, whether it had been, 1 or 2 more weeks and then they're done. But, for a while she was actually one of the higher paid women on the roster. So, she's done a lot. And it's one of those things where like, well, if you're looking at ways to be like, we're going to just remove some people. Sad to see her go because she had potential. Masay and Mansoor. This was your maximum male models. once they took away Maxine and Max, no, LA Knight, you know, they did some good bits. I know that they did some really nice work on social media, but it felt like it was a tag team that you could have put out there to be the known tag team that would be, you know, function like the jobbers, which no one really wants to be, but versus being a jobber is good to still have a job, but not a lot happened with them once they broke up a lot of maximum male models, even though they killed it in that role. Rick Boogs, you know, had a solid run as the guitar player for Shinsuke Nakamura. Got to have a WrestleMania match against the Usos. Came back from an injury, just jacked 8 ways from Sunday, and then his whole, you know, I'm gonna get all booged. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this. Sad to see him go because he had a fantastic look, great power game, lots of charisma. Top Dollar. I wonder about the rest of Hit Row. I mean, Top Dollar, good size. He did have that botch over the top rope, which, I mean, you know, for someone of his size, it's a tough thing to do for most people. But I'm like, all right. Hit Row was brought back with 3 out of the 4 members, and I'm like, cool. And then they're gonna do really nothing with them. Okay. Aaliyah. So, Aaliyah, if you go back and watch like older stuff on the network, Breaking Ground, she was great in that. You know, nice plucky baby face. She got to be the random tag team partner. She was the person I think had the fastest pinfall victory, beating Natalia. Again, she was someone who was good, nice look, decently athletic, but I think there's just so much talent from the women's side of things, it's easy to get lost. Riddick Moss, again, a dude with fantastic look. His work with Happy Corbin was fantastic. When he broke up from that, got the crowd behind him, and then he became generic dude in black trunks. And it's like they never really just developed him from there. Emma, sad thing about Emma. So they're going to do an event in Australia. She was super excited and then got released. But Emma has, of course, bounced back and worked for Impact. So she has a good enough track record. If she wants to work someplace else, perfect. Again, similar to what you see with like Dana Brooke and Aaliyah, there's just a lot of women. There's a lot of really solid women in there now. And it's like, if you're not, you know, like the top 10 women, it's going to be pretty easy to be like, to get removed. And it's not fun to say from a business perspective. Yes, the E has a ton of money. Yes, he's going to have a tremendous balance sheet at the end of the year. But they're also looking at, okay, you know, what can we do to potentially shave a little bit of money here and there? Probably some, it's also due to the merger. They mentioned they laid off a bunch of office staff because you got 2 companies that have similar probably corporate structures. You don't need 2 HRs, you don't need 2 ITs. You don't need 2 financial groups. I go, now you either call him Mustafa or Mustafa. So he's got a match at the Premium Live event in a little over 2 weeks against Dominic Mysterio. I just finished watching NXT and he had this really nice promo about it. It's like, I'm going to be on Raw to take care of this stuff going on with Dragon Lee. Again, it's like, can't you just be like, okay, Mustafa. Yeah, I go, we're letting you go. Okay, October 1st. Keep him for 2 weeks. Do the match. Be done with it. And that's it. Shelton Benjamin. Man, he's way too good in the ring. But once Hurt Business kind of folded, you can tell he got lost in the shuffle. Great in-ring athleticism. Fantastic when it comes to mat work, high flying. He's got everything you want from a professional wrestler standpoint. And his promo is actually decent. But he's in that, you know, there's just so much talent in the E right now that it's easy for someone to go, we doing anything with him? Not really. You on something with him? I know people are going to say, well, you can always find something to do with them. Look at like your main E product, where you've got people on top. You've got Roman, you've got the Usos, you've got Sami Zayn, you have Kevin Owens, you've got Drew McIntyre, you have Cody Rhodes, you've got the Judgment Day. And you start going through the list of people, you kind of go, okay, Imperium. Okay, it's like who do we knock off the show to put someone else in there? As much as we can say, oh, you can easily book, yes. With the rosters being split, it's very much, okay, we need to book 3 hours of Raw, minus backstage segments, minus replays, minus, people coming down the ring, minus commercials. So like, okay, we've got like a little over 2 hours of this to book. Yeah. We've got about an hour and a half to book on SmackDown. Okay. Can we get all of our current roster on there? And it's difficult from that aspect. Elias. He didn't need to do anything in the match. He was actually fired before when he was in NXT, and then he came back as El Vagabondo when he was the Drifter. And it was brilliant. Guy was a fantastic job doing the heat stuff. And it's incredible knowing that he did so much that I haven't released his boots. A buddy of mine, he didn't know Elias had a theme music because he always came to the ring, played his guitar, and then got interrupted. So you never actually heard him actually have theme music because he's always in the ring. He's playing. Again, a lot of charisma. Also pretty good when it comes to making his own music too. So he could very easily be someone who's like, you know what, I don't need to wrestle anymore. Probably make some music every now and then. Maybe pop up here and there, do an event if he wants, but just keep his name out there. Dolph Ziggler, with near 20 years in the E, he was always one of those guys like we need someone we can heat up for like a 2 or 3 month feud, and then cool him back down. So we got Dolph. Dolph's work in NXT with Braun Breaker, solid. His feud with The Miz over the IC title was fantastic. He's always had these moments where it's like, we're going to be behind him now? We are? Oh man, here we go. We're going to... And 2 months later, it's like, oh, he's back to being a dirty dog again, whatever that is. So, of course, he's someone who, his brother wrestles for AEW. Now we get to be like, all right, Ziggler, your chains have been cut. Let's see what you do at AEW. Maybe you make a run at New Japan. This could be the time when we get to see Bullet Club Dolph Ziggler. Just saying. There's a lot of great matchups that Ziggler can really easily have with a tremendous amount of talent. And if he wants to, the world is quite literally at his feet from a fresh wrestling standpoint. And the last one, again, still kind of in the process of having a storyline, Matt Riddle. I know Matt Riddle has quite a few legal issues that he's dealing with. But still, if you could be like, all right, don't get rid of him now. Let's at least keep him here till October 1st so we get one more Raw out of him. Have Drew McIntyre just MDK him. Turn Drew heel. Writes him out. And then if, a year later, it's like, okay, things are different. Let's bring him back in. Even the person who writes him out. And then if Randy Orton comes back, Randy Orton can then go after Drew McIntyre for destroying his friend. There's a whole bunch of things you can do with it, but when you just... he's like, what's up, bro? And then... someone just went, Oh. Yeah. And then he became dust and floated away into the ether. It's always sad to see a lot of people be let go. I watch a lot of the product. I don't watch Level Up because of the time delay. And I was like, I don't know a lot of these names. A lot of them, I'm like, oh, I remember you did some stuff. The ones that have name value, great to see these guys. Maybe go to AEW. I'm assuming most of these probably have a 90-day non-compete clause. So looking at, I can take bookings the week of Christmas. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, if you could at least, all right, we're getting very much people. Okay, let's at least wait till October 1st. Why? Because then 90 days pretty much puts you in the new year. But that's like, no, you can start taking jobs. Great, the weekend before Christmas. Oh. Now, if you're NXT talent, 30 days. 30 days from some of these guys got released. It's Bound for Glory in Chicago. If Mustafa doesn't have 90-day non-compete clause, I mean, he lives in Chicago. Could we see, Mustafa come to Impact and challenge Will Ospreay? I don't know. Could we see him in like next match? I don't know. Would he make a great Bound for Glory pop-up all of a sudden? Sure. Same with, someone like Emma. Emma's done work in Impact before. Bound for Glory. Why not? If they're 90 days, then you're looking at, all right, start really drilling down things when most companies are on mild hiatus because it's the week between Christmas and New Year's. Then hit January 1st, boom, you're free and clear. Start your new year, new company, and just do it. It's always sad to see people lose their jobs. A lot of them, I know Shelton Benjamin was always on the list of people who saved their money and did a really good job with that. If he wants to wrestle again, cool. If he doesn't want to, cool. He'd also be someone who I think would be fantastic if he wanted to be a trainer. He seems like he has that temperament to work with some of the younger guys and be like, all right, here's how you make your moves, here's how you do a nice flow, here's how you do some of this stuff, here's how you bump one, here's how you do this. Like, technically incredibly sound. Dolph Ziggler, whatever he wants to do, it's available to him. If he wants to be like, you know what, I'm not going to do anything, okay. I'm going to do the comedy thing, do some of the acting stuff. He's got enough other ventures that he can take care of things. Matt Riddle probably won't go to UFC, but could he be an interesting guy to see do a few months in either Impact or AEW? Yeah. So he had enough name notoriety to go to a place like AEW and be able to get at least 3 months of being on one of the main shows? Yeah, of course. Could there be some unique matchups for him? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you put him in an area where it's like, all right, you've got no filter, you can say whatever you want to say, and you can wrestle much more aggressive style. Or you go to New Japan. I mean, there's lots of places for, some of the really higher up names to go almost anywhere. And they have to do it starting in like the new year. Could we see Ziggler or Riddle show up at Wrestle Kingdom? If they want to, they probably can. So the ones who want to keep on doing this can keep on doing this and can make some really great headway. And if you're like, oh, it sucks they got let go. Jinder Mahal got let go. Came back, became world champion. Drew McIntyre got let go. Came back, became world champion. Cody Rhodes asked for his release. Traveled the world. Came back, main event WrestleMania. There are ways that if you are let go and you double down on yourself, make yourself an incredible, valuable asset, you can come back and you can be much higher up than you ever would have been had you stayed in the system.